Fed officials say more price hikes wished, despite slowing inflation. Slowing U.S. inflation may also have opened the door for the Federal Reserve to temper the pace of coming interest fee hikes, but policymakers left no question they will maintain to tighten financial policy till price pressures are fully broken. A U.S. Labor Department document Wednesday showing consumer expenses did not rise in any respect in July as compared with June became just one step in what policymakers stated might be an extended technique, with a red-hot activity market and buoyant fairness expenses suggesting the economy wishes greater of the cooling that would come from higher borrowing costs. The Fed is a long way far away from asserting victory on inflation, Minneapolis Federal Reserve Bank President Neel Kashkari mentioned on the Aspen Ideas Conference, despite the welcome news in the CPI record. Kashkari mentioned he hasn't seen whatever that adjustments, the need to raise the Fed's policy rate to a few 0.9% by way of year-end and to 4.4% with the aid of the quit of 2023. The price is currently in the 2.25 pages C2, 5% variety. To be sure, Kashkari is the Fed's maximum hawkish member. Maximum of his 18 colleagues agree with a little less policy tightening can be enough to do the trick to bring expenditures under higher manage. San Francisco Fed President Mary Daly, in an interview with the Financial Times, also warned it's miles far too early for the U.S. vital financial institution to claim victory in its combat towards inflation. However, Daly said that a half percentage point rate upward thrust become her baseline, but did not rule out a third consecutive 0.75% factor charge upward push on the vital financial institution's next policy meeting in September, in line with the record. Calling inflation unacceptably excessive, Chicago Fed President Charles Evans said he believes the Fed will in all likelihood need to lift its policy price to 3.25p, see 3.5% this 12 months and to 3.75% 4% with the aid of the cease of next 12 months, in keeping with what Fed Chair Jerome Powell signaled after the Fed's trendy assembly in July. Still, he said, the CPI file marks the first superb analyzing on inflation because the Fed began raising hobby charges in March in growing increments, a 1/4 percentage point to begin, then a 1/2 point, after which 3/4 percentage factor in each June and July. After Wednesday's CPI record, buyers of futures tied to the Fed's benchmark hobby price paired bets on a third instantly 75 basis point hike at its September 2021 coverage assembly, and now see a half-point growth as the much more likely alternative. Equity markets took a comparable cue on hopes for a much less competitive significant financial institution, with the S&P 500 growing 2.1%. Financial markets are currently pricing a pinnacle Fed price range fee of 3.75% by using year-end, with charge cuts to comply with subsequent year, possibly as policymakers move to counter monetary weak spot. Kashkari called that situation unrealistic, and stated Fed policymakers are united of their dedication to carry inflation all the way down to the Fed's 2% target. The danger of recession will not deter me from advocating for what's needed to achieve this, he said. Data on tap for the Fed to cut back. Clean inflation records will want to verify the concept that charge increases are slowing. The customer rate index rose 8.5% in July from a year earlier, Wednesday's document confirmed. While that marked a drop from June's 9.1% prices are nevertheless rising at levels no longer visible for the reason that 1970s and early 1980s. Food fees in July were up 11% from the 12 months earlier, then, devastating for lower profits households especially. For the moment, however, analysts focused at the fact that, after months wherein accelerating fee pressures pushed Fed policymakers to tighten credit situations faster than at any time for the reason that 1980s inflation information sooner or later amazed inside the other direction. The Fed wishes a lot greater proof of slowing inflation, but this is a good begin, said Kareem Basta, leader economist with 3 Capital Management. Data on August client inflation will be released on Sept.